It's a beautiful day. All right, we are streaming live. Hi, happy holidays. Hope you had a fantastic week. We're back, and we're going to be talking about how to make your dreams a reality by doing just one very simple thing. Hi, Dean. My husband is here. What a whirlwind this past week. So let me just check in. How's everyone doing? Elaine, Marolakos, Edelson here with Astrology Mojo and Transformational Astrology. I want to help you get your mojo back. Jennifer's here and Leah. Nice to see ya. That was not intentional. Okay. Whirlwind. I just have all these fragments of Christmas jingles in my head, or even commercial jingles, not even Christmas. It's kind of funny. So we're just going to settle in now and talk a little bit about the flow. What's that about? I'm going to talk about Neptune conjuncting Mars while we're in a Mercury in retrograde, but then that's going to end and overlap. So Mars is a planet that represents, remember, folks, in astrology, the planets don't make you do anything. You live in a cooperation with your cosmos. When the planets make a move, you feel it. When you make a move, the planets reflect that and hand it right back to you in a mirror image. So that's why you're not controlled like a puppet. So let's use astrology to transform. Let's alter some of the ancient definitions to make it updated to apply to you and your life, shall we? Let's. Because there's so much changing going on, so much chaos in the world all the time. It's not just now, it's all the time, because chaos comes from people. So as long as there are people, there will be chaos. And what I'm looking at too is Mars representing hi Christine, hi Annette. Oh, everybody's showing up. Yay, I'm so happy. Mars represents action. It's a very fiery energy, and it is Aries muse. And Neptune is guides Pisces and is a water sign. So when we put fire and water together, here's Mars, by the way. Mars, and that's the planet and the glyph, the symbol, and Neptune, the planet and the glyph and the symbol. And when we put Pisces, which is Neptune, together with Mars, which is Aries, fire and water makes steam or smoke. It can get confusing. And suddenly we have all this impetus to act, but we don't know on what, or we react to things and we just suddenly explode when we're not in the flow, when we're fighting the flow. Okay? So raise your hands if anyone's recently been fighting the flow. I'm going to put both hands up. I have, like who doesn't, right? So this is what Pisces looks like, by the way. Pisces is the symbol of two fish swimming in opposite directions, and the line between them is bridging heaven and earth through the conscious and unconscious states. So when we have Mars, which is, and remember, Mars or any planet, this timing that I'm talking about is mostly right for, you're going to feel it right now. But this is, evergreen information, so you can use it in the future as well. Mars takes about 6 weeks to move through a constellation in one sign. And Mars is in the sign of Pisces now through December 31st, 2018. It will be back in May 2020. And because it will traverse through each of the through the constellations and each of the astrological signs. So right now it's in Pisces. Next, it'll move into Aries. And when Mars is in your sign, your sun sign, your rising sign, your moon sign, and right now it's in the sign of Pisces, or if you were born with a Mars in Pisces, you will feel this the most. But everyone's going to feel this. Hi, Annette. Who else is here? Hi, peoples. Hello, peoples. Now, Mars, the fiery sign in a water sign of Pisces, the fiery planet in a water sign of Pisces, can get confusing sometimes because you might, and this is whether you're born with Mars in Pisces or not, this is just the time that we're looking at. You might feel like there's so much to do and you're so overwhelmed and you don't know where to start. On the upside, it's you derive great pleasure from music, movies, illusion, fun fantasy, not the delusional type of fantasy. And any kind of addiction that you might have, let it be a healthy one. Like, oh, I'm going to work out today, but not to excess. Or, hey, I'm going to use those herbs and vitamins to help my body feel better. Because remember, Mars is an energy that wants to act. That is its whole mission. I got to act. So give me something to do, or I'm just going to go do it anyway. I'm going to do something. So, and Pisces is more, oh, wow, that's pretty. What's that? Oh, I had a dream last night. So when you put like those two energies together, and let me just shut this down. Sometimes it can be daydreaming over frustration and obsession starts, right? So we don't want that to happen. What we are looking at, though, is to help you actualize, make your dream a reality by doing one simple thing. It is being in the flow. And it is not easy to be in the flow sometimes when you're a very active person and need the control. If you're someone who has to control something, especially in this Mercury in retrograde in Sagittarius, you might find, yes, let's all get up and dance. Let's take the music. I forget the song, something and dance. Okay. We got to dance. You have to get up and do some Zumba. You got to move your energy. And being in the flow sometimes means let's stop distracting ourselves on purpose. Now, it's easy to do that when there are holidays, right? Because people say, oh, it's okay. It's a holiday. They're closed on Monday. I could just take an extra day, or I can call in sick, or I can eat that extra 16 slices of pie because it's a holiday. So then we get lost in the illusion and we make up our own timing. And that's not the flow. That's your flow. It may not be the most truthful flow for you. So what's the best way to get into the flow, really? And I think that's different for everyone in a huge way. But while we're looking at Mars in Pisces conjuncting Neptune in Pisces through December 14th, and the direct hit is on December 6th. This can be the most fantastic couple of weeks of your life if you drop yourself into the flow by letting go of control and allow yourself to move in a direction, like the tortoise in the EAC. Totally cool, dude, in Nemo, in the movie Nemo. Just got to ride with the flow, dude. You got to chill. And one of the better ways to do that, especially if you're a control person, is to go ahead and make your lists. I have pages of things. Oh, did I just admit to being a control person? I have papers everywhere with notes, and I got to call this and I got to do that. So go ahead and make your notes. Make it all happy for yourself if you're, into doing that. And then stop what you're doing and then close your eyes unless you're driving, okay, or chopping wood or making dinner. Sit down, relax, and close your eyes and get really calm as best as you can by focusing on the chatter, right? There's the chatter, and it's like, I got to get this done. I got to get that done. It's not going to get done. It's just not. You're producing more chatter with chatter. That's just what chatter begets chatter. I think that's a line from the Bible. Let's just say it is. And what you want to do then is get focused on your body. Let's get centered in your body, because if you want to slingshot yourself into the future and get busy doing something, let's have a plan. And a plan of action to get into the flow means, number one, you let go of control. So you make your lists, you let go of all the stuff that you would typically do that makes you feel in control and on top of things. When there's chaos, there's all your to-do list, there's stuff and there's always going to be stuff to do. There's always going to be stuff to do. Let's just sit down and calm for just a few minutes before we get into the stuff to do. After you make your lists, then it's just a few moments of breathing and getting really clear on your breath. You want to get into the flow? You want to drop into the flow that's always moving, the EAC? That's the enlightened, what kind of acronym? Let's see, the EAC instead of in Nemo. The EAC is the enlightened, active compassion. There you go. Enlightened, active compassion. That's where we want to go. And once you get into your body and you help yourself to be a little bit more present, oh, ding dong, that's the whole key of being in the flow. Then you stop, you give up the control. You know, Neptune is an energy. And let me just show it to you again. Neptune guides Pisces. There's Neptune. And here is Pisces. And so that's a natural placement. When Neptune is in the sign of Pisces, it's called a natural placement because they work together. And then we add Mars in the sign of Pisces. And then it's like, you know, it's cannonballs of water balloons. And they're just being shot out in every direction with, I got to get that done. I got to get that. I got to go over there. And then it's, I'm exhausted. And then I'm overwhelmed. And then there's just so much stuff. And then, you know, kablooey, right? So we don't want kablooey. We don't need kablooey. Let's raise your level of conscious awareness by getting present. To drop into the flow, it helps to what I call run energy. Now, I can help you do that here just in a quick minute. I can help you even further by powering up with a power up session with me. You can click on the blue Book Now button. And a power up session is going to help us, me and you, work together to find out where's the best place for you to flow, how to let go of the control, what is the thing that you really want. Because sometimes we think we want this thing over here when actually we're getting busy over here because it's a distraction of what's happening over here. And this is where we need to focus. And, you know, when people they're working hard, you're making money, you're paying the bills, taking care of the kids, you're starting a business, whatever you're doing. Sometimes we get so stuck in the trajectory, like we've got to get out there, we've got to future project, we've got to do the next thing, that you forget where you are in this moment. And that's the flow, being as present as possible by doing one simple thing, and that is getting calm. Get rid of the excess first, get calm. And as you breathe with focus, and focusing on the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe naturally and normally, you're going to start to settle in your body and get, the sync comes, it's the peace comes, the urge to sometimes stop. I need to teach meditation, and I had a client who was a Gemini with an Aries rising, and I forget his moon sign, but there was no stopping for this person. Constant chatter, constant thought, constant motion, constant everything. And so he really wanted to get calm for his kids, calmer, and incorporate that into his lifestyle. So after, I would say, about 2 minutes of a 6-minute meditation, that's when the fidgeting started. He's got to scratch his shoulder, while his eyes are closed. And I would be talking to help him focus and bring the rise and fall back to your chest as you breathe naturally, normally. Inhale, exhale. So giving him something to do in the meditation helped him to calm down. So if you're someone who has difficulty meditating, it's not sitting for hours in cross-legged position that's, uncomfortable. It's just focusing a little at a time, bringing your breath back to your present moment. Inhale. Do it right now with me. Inhale through the nose. Hold for a count of 3, 2, 1. Exhale out of the mouth. That's it. Do that 3 times. And that puts you in the flow. Now, before your mind takes over and you slingshot into 16 other things to do, have that pre-list ready of everything you think has to get done. And then look down at that list after you do some breathing exercises and be honest. Does everything on your list have to get done right now? Is it of dire urgency? Will civilizations crumble if you don't do everything on your list. No. So you want to prioritize. So once you breathe, get present, you're in the flow now, right? You're in the flow. And if you put into motion one thing, one practical thing today in the next 24 hours, I guarantee that in 21 days, you will be moving toward your goal. So pick one goal. I know you have 27, but just pick one for now. Yes, stuff has to get done. Food, and I'm not talking about making dinner. That's not the goal. I'm talking about what is it that's been on your mind since you got to this planet? What do you want to do? What would you like to accomplish? Would you like to have better relationships? Do you want to move forward in business? Do you want to write a book? Are you thinking about expanding your mind through more educational courses? Whatever it is that you want to do, you can make time for it. Gandhi had the same amount of time that we have. Buddha as well. Look what they did. Come on, you can do it. Come on. Brick-a-brack-a, firecracker, sis, boom, ba. Rah, rah, rah. You. Rah, rah, rah. All right, I'm going to pull a card for the group. Everybody focus right now on the one thing, the one major goal they'd like to accomplish in the next 6 months, 3 months even. Just focus on that one thing. Drop a few pounds. Forget that it's the holidays. Get into better shape, whether it's lose weight or not. Have a better focus. Understand my purpose more. Be calmer. Be more kinder and accepting of other people. Be less judgmental. Be more compassionate. To set healthier boundaries. These are some really great goals to have. There's no bad goal. And if a goal is to make dinner because you're making dinner for 15 people, then that's a goal. I didn't mean to minimize it earlier, but I'm talking about the things that really give you joy, that you sabotage yourself over, because Neptune is famous for pretending that it can't happen. Somebody else already did it. Why bother writing a book, right? I don't have the business know-how. It's okay. It's all right. I'll just focus over here on my family and what everybody else needs. Or Judge Judy. That's exciting. So I'll pull a card for everyone. Anybody have any questions about how to get into the flow and to do one thing? One thing. You physically act, because you're going to enact the Mars energy. You physically enact one thing. And if it's, let's say you're looking to, join a gym. Okay, make the phone call. Do some research. Find out, what are the particulars? How much does it cost? Are there any hidden fees? Who do I get to work with? What kind of personal trainers do you have? When are you closed? It's so simple. Just begin the process. Act on one thing that will help you to move forward in the next 24 hours. And by 21 days, once you act on the one thing, you don't just sit back and go, okay, I did my one thing, now it's going to magically, appear. That's the Neptune energy going, yeah, I'm done. No, you're not done. One thing, now focus. And then as you make your list of what you want to control, well, how about what are maybe 5 things that you can do over the course of the next week? One thing a day toward that goal. Some people I know who work full time and they want to get ahead in something else. They're going to law school, they work during the day, or they're taking educational classes at night to learn how to use a computer better. They work during the day, or they've got kids and they have to wait till the babysitter comes or the husband comes home, or whatever the situation is. They will dedicate at least 1 hour. My clients, I'm talking about my clients, they will dedicate 1 hour to the thing that they are hoping to achieve, because 1 hour gets you closer. And 1 hour a day gets you even closer. And after 21 days, and by science standards and practicum, it has been proven that in 21 days, you can make a major transformation. What will that be? Let me know what it is you want to transform. What would you like to transform? Let me know in the comment section while I get busy pulling a card for everyone on your being in the flow and your transformation. And I will take a drink. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. That's my favorite time of year. Even when I was a kid, I would lie on the couch and at night and look at our little Christmas lights in the window, and I was so happy. It felt magical to me, and not the Santa Claus thing. I mean, yeah, I would, as a kid, yeah, that was fun, that was cool. But even after the Santa Claus thing was over, it was for me, I wish it could feel like this all the time. And I remember an upstairs neighbor, an older woman, said to me, "Oh, you can't have Christmas all the time because then it wouldn't be special." And I said, "No, it's not the presents. That's not what I meant." And in my head, I was 10 or 11. What I meant was the feeling of joy and happiness that I felt from other people and in the world. There was just an upliftment of things. And it's, by the time I was 16 years old and depressed because of the mercury fillings in my mouth and not knowing who I was or where I was going, I saw the movie It's a Wonderful Life. I sobbed like a baby. It changed my life. And to this day, we have Christmas lights everywhere all the time. In the house all the time, because it just feels magical, and it's like the spirit sparkling, and that's what I see. So, okay. All right. Someone's going to organize their kitchen cupboards. Excellent. Then you'll be more organized. Here we go. A card for everyone on their transformation. Oh, well, makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Concentration. So as you concentrate on the thing that you want to get done, it just takes one focused action. And then the next day, another focused action on the same topic. And I guarantee you, if you enact this in 24 hours, just one thing with dedicated focus, because of who you are and how excited you are to make this transition, because you're a Mojo Mystic, you're not going to just do one thing, are you? You're going to keep going, and you're going to feel so accomplished at the end of the day. Some things we have to do and they feel like drudgery, and I totally get that. And I think that this Mars cycle in Pisces, and whenever Mars is in Pisces, it's always great to add the element of magic to your activities. So if it helps you to listen to music while you are doing your stuff, or to listen to, not listen to music, watch great videos, have them on while you're doing your thing for inspiration, dance, as we talked about earlier. Again, Mars is action. And here is what it looks like. Mars is action. And Neptune is the dream. It is the ideal vision. It is the magic in life that you can incorporate. And Pisces is the poetry of motion, the poetry of life. So how can you make this a magical time? By doing one thing. Leah says, I want to learn more and take classes on healing, crystal, and holistic health. Great. One thing a day. One thing a day as you look at your I Ching book, or you go online and you research Dr. Axe or Dr. Berg. They have videos galore on health and healing. Crystals, because I used to work with crystals intensely, I've got them all over the house. They're in bowls and buckets, and I mean, they're just, I've got them everywhere. And I understand that the crystal energy is something that you can get from books, absolutely, and you can learn from books. But the biggest way to learn about crystals is to actually hold them and meditate with them and see what energy you get from crystals. And all things are healing that are naturally formed. I've got amethyst over there. There's another amethyst. I've got a lot of quartz around me for clarity. There's different types of crystals. There's a wand, because there are no hard edges. And you will see the shapes inside each crystal. As you work with them over the years, they will change. There's dendrite. I'm knocking things over on my desk everywhere. And there are things that help to remove negativity, such as obsidian. You never want to sleep with obsidian, this is schorl, black tourmaline. Obsidian I don't have it with me. It's in the other room. It's brown. And you never want to sleep with obsidian or schorl, because they are meant for grounding. And in your sleep, you want to dream, you want to fly. So as you explore your world and as you learn more about, in fact, I can do a whole Facebook Live on crystals. Let me make a note of that. That could be the next one. Crystal healing energy and what they mean to you, because you will learn that the different shapes, there are teacher crystals, etc. There are clusters, there are single crystals, there are cloudy and clear, rutilated, we can go on, and I will do an actual show on crystals. But in the meantime, as you start to engage all of the things, and my husband's walking around looking at, that is Shoral. I have that there. Could you get the obsidian, not the obsidian, the smoky quartz crystal ball? And I remember dreaming once that I was walking through a liquid ocean, that not like salt water, but it was conscious. And as I was, and this was maybe 30 years ago, 35, 40 years ago, I had this dream, and I was walking through this ocean, and it wasn't very deep because I could walk through it. And as I picked up, I would just scoop up the water to feel the drips, and it would turn into a different crystal each time. And so I have gotten so much health and healing from crystals and the energy that each one is imbued with. And that's a fascinating topic. I'll actually do that. Kathy says, "Hi, Kathy. Would like to regain my financial independence." Okay, not that. No, it's the... My husband is handing me like huge rocks we have everywhere. My husband's handing me everything. Okay. This is soda light. We're going to talk about that in the next one. So Kathy says, would like to regain my financial independence. Okay. So being in the flow with this Mars let me start over just a little bit for people who have recently joined, or if you're listening in a replay. Between November 28th and December 14th of 2018, and the direct hit is on December 6th, Mars is conjunct Neptune in Pisces. Now, remember, the planets don't make you do anything, but during this phase, you are more likely to engage either on the negative side, an obsession, an addiction, an illusion, and get lost in it and feel the negative effects of that, or... My husband is dogged in his determination to find my smoky quartz crystal ball. So I don't know if you could see that. It's actually very brown. It's very dark. It looks... Oh, there you go. Okay, that's my smoky quartz. But moving this energy in a Mars in a water sign, it can feel confusing. So you want to opt for the higher road always. So you might feel depressed. You might feel anxious, confused. Remember, when fire and water get together, it makes steam. So that can be confusing. So you want to get clear by being present, by taking breaths. Three breaths in through the nose, out of the mouth, you get settled in your body. And then looking at, where is your flow right now? Is your flow bottled up? Because if you're in the flow, then you trust you do not have to control. You can act on things, definitely. But especially when it comes to finances, you need to write a little letter to money. Everybody can write a little letter to money. Dear money. Dear money, lately I've not seen you. Why? Why are you not here? I miss you. And as you write your letter to money, you're going to start to feel all the stuck places and the resistant places and I got to work harder. I got to work smarter. I got to get that thing back. I have to work overtime. Okay. Yeah, you work hard. You'll get back, but being in the flow is not about working hard. Being in the flow is about trusting that you live in a cooperative, conscious cosmos. All right? A cooperative, conscious cosmos. And when you are in the flow with Mars and Pisces, it's very easy to get into the flow and go down a slide, and just say, yes, I trust. So every day you want to start the day with, I trust. Every hour you want to remind yourself, I trust. What do you trust? I trust my needs are met. My needs are met. My needs are met, even if I don't know how to meet them. And when you get to the sea of your conscious state, that's why I love movies. as an example of who we are and what we can do with our stuff. You know, when you look at the lack that you have in your life, it's just an indication of the moments you did not trust the flow. And when you don't trust the flow, it means you're trying to control something. And that means you've separated yourself from the flow. So the flow can be called your consciousness, your higher self, the universe. The flow can be where things lead you, but, you know, so let's say you want to go over there and get something done, but that's blocked. You can't get there. And then you're like, well, wait a minute. My husband and I have done this a million times. We can't get something done online. It's like, well, it happened yesterday. We restart the computer and we start the thing over and we keep going. And our attempts are tenacious and we're fixed and we just got to get it done because we started the day and this is what has to happen. It's on my to-do list. You know, and then 2 hours later, we want to throw the thing out the window. Okay, how does that help you? You're not in the flow. You're trying to control something. So we will stop, take a breath and say, you know what? I'm going to do something else. And that's when I sit down and I get present through breathing. And so it works for me. I hope it works for you because I don't know any other person who does this work who does not use that technique. That is the one thing you need to do is get present and breathe in through the nose. Hold for a count of 3, 2, 1. Out of the mouth. Now you're calmer. Now you're not fighting. What are you fighting? And sometimes the fight is the victim. Now, Pisces is great for being the idealist, the martyr. Let's get it done. We can do that. But also the victim. Oh, it's not going to work. Why bother? You know, in Polar Express, Christmas just doesn't work out for me, you know. So you want to think about that. And the timing. Sometimes we fight the timing because we think, well, we set it on the calendar and I got it on my phone and this is when it should happen. And the store said they would open at 10 and they're not. And I'm in the parking lot and I've got to get to work. And so we rationalize time. Isn't that funny? Aren't we funny? Join the human race. So when you are, especially in Mercury in retrograde, it's a great time to recognize when you are not in flow because you will get so frustrated over something that's not working. The pepper grinder. I was making chicken the other day and I'm, and the whole thing cracked off and about a quarter cup of pepper fell on the chicken. You could have heard me curse down the block. Okay. And after I let go of my temper tantrum, I scooped it all off, make sure there was none on the floor because the dog came in. What happened, Mom? And scooped it all off. And I left what I could in the rest of the pan, added some lemon juice, water, a little salt, and I baked it. It was the most delicious chicken I have ever made in my life. So sometimes the mistake can be a blessing. So let's stop fighting it. Let's stop fighting it. What do you say? All right? Isn't that funny? Yes, you're welcome, Kathy. And I just want to, no cry. I just want to have a temper tantrum. I just want to because I can. I was talking to a cousin of mine and I asked, how are the kids? And she said, one of my kids is in a certain grade now and, middle school and getting to know the Mean Girls. And I went, okay, it's time for your daughter to watch the movie Mean Girls. It's time. Who hasn't seen the Mean Girls? It's hysterical. Listen, to book a session with me, Dean will post a link in the comments, or you can click on the blue button. It says book now, and either it's up there or it's down here. It depends on if you're scrolling on a tablet or a phone. I'm going to pull a final card, and I will be back on Thursday at Thursday afternoon, I think 4 or 5 p.m. I have to check my schedule. And I'll work up a whole thing on crystals. We will be talking about crystals because why not? In this magical time of Mars conjunct Neptune, let's look at the magical properties of what we can do in the universe. Now, I've pretty much almost have tried everything and experienced many, many things throughout my life so that I can be the beta tester and help you understand what something is. So an energy technique, stuff, shamanic exercises, all the stuff, smoke tents, smoke cards, all kinds of crazy stuff that's fun. And we can draw from the mystics, which is what we are deep down. That's what I call myself. People say, "Oh, are you psychic?" And I'll say, "I am a mystic," because a mystic is someone who looks at the forces of air, water, wood, metal, nature, earth, sky, and the connection to all living things and being in the flow. So let's be in the flow. Let's be sparkly. Get your mojo back. And I will see you in a couple of days. Be well. And keep your temper tantrums limited to 4 minutes. Set a timer. All right. We'll talk again. I'll be well. Thanks.